Statistics indicate that Uganda has one of the youngest population in the world. Now, according to the Ministry of Gender, over 400,000 youth are released to the streets every year to compete for the 9,000 jobs available. This high unemployment rate therefore causes a serious threat to the well-being of our society.
Hello and welcome to U-report, a free SMS-based system that allows you as a young Ugandan to be able to speak out on issues affecting you in your community and work together with other community leaders to be able to enact positive change. This week on U-report, we find out how you and I can be able to start small and grow big to become job creators instead of job seekers. But first, let's learn how to become a U-reporter.
Step number 1, simply text the word join to the number 8500. There you are, all text messages are free.
Step number 2, you will receive a greeting message and a series of questions asking to know more about you. We at U-report would like to know more about you for better interaction.
After you answer those simple questions, there you are, you're a U-reporter.
As a U-reporter, you will receive weekly polls and meaningful information that will help you enact change in your community. According to a recent World Bank report, Uganda has one of the world's youngest population and the highest youth unemployment rate. Our country continues to have an extremely rapid population growth, with more than 8.4 million Ugandans living below the poverty line.
Unemployment is a major problem for many Ugandan youth, with most of them resorting to all sorts of jobs to earn a living. Several youth have sent us spontaneous messages, especially about unemployment. These are messages that are sent on a random basis. They have not been prompted by any question poll, and yet they fall under the following themes. Some U-reporters are asking if they can get jobs in U-report. Others are simply telling us how they are surviving, while the rest are asking, where do they go?
This is what some of the youth had to say. Due to scarcity of jobs, most youth are not willing to join formal education in Uganda. I think now focus should also be put on helping the youth through their talents like music, dance and drama, modeling, art, etc. This should also be part of the recognized education. Thank you, 24. Another U-reporter asked, what is the main cause of unemployment? Is it poor education system, large population, or low levels of industrialization? And finally, Caesar from Fort Portal said, stealing people's property became a work of the youth in my parish because no work is given by the government of Uganda.
Thank you, reporters, for your messages. It's because you shared your concerns about unemployment that we would like to engage the rest of the U-reporters on this issue.
Makerere having around 207 courses offered, 207 courses offered at Makerere University, but not all of those courses match the labor market. Now, there's a mismatch between what people study at the university and what they do when they get out of the university. I wish the government can actually institute and put a lot of emphasis on courses that either create jobs or are going to be or are matching the labor market in Uganda. That's how we can, I think, reduce on the problems of unemployment, mostly youth unemployment here in Uganda.
Programs which are meant to empower the youths financially end up not being transparent, so the youths don't get the money sometimes. So the government must streamline their ideas, their policies towards helping out the youths.
So, I would like that we can start from business skills, so that when the youth they are trained with business skills, they can start their own projects. Then the loans they will come in, so that government should provide soft loans, so that youth can gain can borrow that soft loans with low interest.
Government should actually try to rehabilitate these industries that are total down, like cattle mining industry, where most of the youth could get a chance to work there. And we have Kilembe mines, which was operating formerly, and it had absorbed most of the youth, but presently you find the mine is shut down no one is there.
We are trying to recruit the youth that are going for the skills development for the year 2013. In the budget, we are having 77 youth, but we are having a total number of 200 who want to be joined in the what? In the skills. We lack funds that we cannot train the whole people in Chegonza sub-county. So the government should bring down that issue of skills training among the youth, since after the skills training they can create their small jobs and earn a living to sustain their families.
The unemployment level among the youth is still very worrying in Uganda, and yet we are among the most energetic people whose work would be very beneficial to our communities and the country at large. Andrew Mupuya is a 21-year-old who runs his own company that makes quality paper bags. His vision is to employ many more Ugandans and to trade beyond borders.
I started my business in 2008. I was a high school student at colleges, and the government mentioned to ban use of polythene bags, these plastic bags, because they are hostile to the environment. And I had to think of what is a viable solution, because I discovered they're intensely used. That's why I came up with the idea of paper bags, because they're eco-friendly. I mobilized my fellow students. We were able to raise 70 kilograms of those plastic bottles. I sold them to a recycling plant, and I raised the 28,000, but my budget was 36,000 shillings. So I had to borrow the 8,000 shillings from my teacher. I was able to pay for my tuition at university. I'm at Makerere University. I employ people. Some of them are parents, some of them are students, some of them are school droppers. So ranging from different kinds of people, and all these people are impacted. I have been recognized in several opportunities. In 2011, I was the youth in Uganda with the best business plan by International Labour Organization. And then also last year I was also named among the top 30 under 30 entrepreneurs by Forbes in Africa. And at least now I have my own premises. I'm no longer renting. I'm in the process of importing machinery. At least I know when I bring my machines, I don't lack where to put them. I have the premises. My appeal to the youth is starting small. Start from your own community. Don't look for... At times you may think that making money you have to go to better ground. It is those problems people are facing. That's why you have to... That's money. In simple terms, capital is the brain, not money. Because I believe even if you're given $1 billion shillings or dollars, but if you don't have the mental capacity to run the business, you'll not manage it. For example, in my case, I started on zero ground, zero capital at first, but I had my idea. I first developed the idea. I did the market research. I discovered people interested in my products. Opportunities are looking for people who have experience in the business, not just startups. For you, if you're just there looking for government fund, it is not there for you. It is there for people who are in the business. So the good thing is to start and it finds you ready.
True words of wisdom from a young entrepreneur. After the break, we meet Charles, who has mentored over 30,000 youth on business entrepreneurship. All that and more when we come back.
My name is Lawrence Achakachon from Gulu. I'm a student in Gulu University. Become a U-reporter because your voice matters in making change to the young people. Yes, we have things that affect us in the community, but if we don't stretch them out, people will never know. So please, let's talk it.
U-Report is a weekly TV show that allows you, as a young Ugandan, to speak out on what's happening in your community. It's very easy to join and let your voice be heard. Simply text the word JOIN to the number 8500. All SMSs are free across all networks. Many reporters have sent us spontaneous messages about unemployment. The rate of unemployment in this country is very alarming. But as we saw before the break, there are very many young Ugandans that have managed to create jobs for themselves and even employ others. We went out to the field to find out from some of our U-reporters across the country if actually youth can become job creators and employ other youths.
Yes, I believe 100% we can be job creators. I want to begin my own thing. Instead of waiting for a job to get employed or look for something like that, I'm getting into trade.
Now I can use the skills which I've got from school, so to go to the other projects, then I work there and if I get some money, I'd post up and I open up my own, like a shop, so that I put there some people to work with, so that I help them in that, so that they do also get some skills.
Being an accountant doesn't stop me from doing these other jobs. Others look at them to be, cheap, low, You look at this bag I have in my hand, I made it myself. And I make them, I put zips and then sell them at a cost of 1.5. With that, I'm getting a living. I don't have to wait for someone to call me in an office. Yes, we've written applications, but they still have their own challenges. These people want bribes, sexual harassment, especially we ladies.
I doing electrical installation. When I get up, my friend, and we join hands together, we can make up our own workshop, whereby you can be earning while waiting to be employed by the government.
Once I'm done with my university education, I am opting for starting my own business.
What the youths can do to create their own jobs, they should avoid looking for white-collar jobs. They should not segregate jobs. They should be job creators than being job seekers. I, as a craft lady, after my craft course, can open up my workshop. I begin operating people's phones, radios. I'll be avoiding unemployment.
The youths can create their own jobs through acquiring skills. Then after acquiring skills, they create small projects like piggery, poultry farming, and also bricklaying. And they also create jobs for the fellow youths, which makes them to get money such that they solve the problems like poverty and also unemployment in the country.
I know after studying, I want to get a job immediately. So what I'm planning right now, I'll tell my dad to give me some capital so I start my business. With time, as I can be having my own business, as with time I'm looking for another job.
I used to like repairing spoiled radios, such and such. Now, as I used to grow up in that way, then my dad was like, as in this boy is in this way, why can't I take him to the other institute, whereby he may improve on that skill? Then he brought me this way. But I've discovered that it's more important than being on a secondary school. Reason being that I grew up in skills and in minds whereby I can be job creator.
I was in Total Progressive Academy. I studied entrepreneurship. We had an organization that was Young Entrepreneurship. I was the CEO in that school, and we had a company that was bakery. We could make our own mandas and we sell within the school. At the end of the day, we earn profit out of it. So I gained a lot of experience out of it. At the moment, I feel I'll be creating jobs more than seeking for jobs.
Thank you very much, our U-reporters. You too can let your voice be heard by becoming a member of U-report. It's easy as texting the word join to 8500. It's free across all networks. Today on the show is the Executive Director, Enterprise Uganda, an organization whose mission is to promote small and medium-scale enterprises. So, Mr. Charles Ochichi, what are the key barriers that the young people face in accessing employment in Uganda?
Whenever I start an enterprise, your obligation is just to deliver a solution to a customer. Don't start by saying I'm here to create a job. Start by saying I'm here to offer a solution to a customer. The moment you have that horizon, that outlook, the rest is done. As customers become more workers will be needed. So that becomes automatic. Change your conversation to look at the right thing. Because the moment you walk into private sector, you've gone into a sector that's defined by two C's. One of the C's is competition. Number second C is choice. The consumer has a freedom to choose you or reject you. Now, if your concern is about giving me a job, please concentrate on these two C's. The jobs will flow. The jobs will be many. The jobs will be sustainable. So anybody who has capacity to deliver solutions for which people can pay a commercial price, doesn't matter your age, such a person will grow in the private sector, and your growth will be also characterized by job creation. So yes, a young person has got all it takes to create a job.
So what would be the requirements for a young person who wants to start something of their own?
The mentors, the people that you associate with, the kind of literature you read, very, very important as a minimum requirement. The other one is beginning to appreciate the power of saving and reinvesting. We call it internal growth of an enterprise. If you started with 10,000 shillings, you made a profit of 2,000 shillings. The first requirement is don't touch the original capital of 10. But also on the 2,000 profit, as you begin to go into the game of entrepreneurship, don't eat all the 2,000. Part of it should be put back so that you start to grow your enterprise internally. A track record built from internal growth will attract other resources.
Now there's the issue of experience. Every time there's a job opportunity, it's speaking of 3 years experience, 4 years experience, how would the youth or the young people overcome such a challenge?
Not a single adult in Uganda should ever talk of lack of experience. It is that idleness that young people have gone into, and that belief that a place of work must have a road sign post for it to become experience. That's where we have a problem. Your dad sold fish, your dad sold milk, and you don't want to be part of that and talk about it? Indian businesses are family enterprises, and they will talk about that experience. Why can't Africans do it? Going to school does not mean escaping from being part of family economic activities. They are good for you, they are good for your experience. An entrepreneur who does not learn from a customer who came back to buy from him, who does not learn from a customer who has left, who does not learn from a customer who has made referrals to him, that entrepreneur's existence in the game will be short-lived. I will only say this: no matter what anybody will say, the key to success in the private sector is personal mindset and personal attitude. And those, every individual has got them. So all that you need is available. The country is a country of opportunity. We just need to work on our attitude and get yourself to enjoy the benefits of a country which is currently headed in the right direction in terms of private sector opportunities.
Enterprise Uganda provides business and entrepreneurship skills to the youth so that they are able to create their own jobs instead of chasing the too few jobs that are out there. The overall objective of the training is to build the capacity of the youth to be able to participate in job creation to reduce the unemployment rates. To sign up for the training program, please contact Enterprise Uganda on the address showing on your screen right now. After the break, we meet a few youth that will inspire you to opt for entrepreneurship in order to overcome unemployment.
Nya kilwone ajok Jennifer antila tiang kwan me guru university antila U-report chunya yom ber U-report ma aluo vulu ma pat ma bian ka joining wa nge ngo ma time community ni ken ping ma kama yi berie kan kama yi solve ye pero ni ma pat ma ma ko vulu ki kom lo tiang ka kom lo dan weng.
Hello, you reporters, and welcome back. As you know by now, U-Report is there to help us as young Ugandans to be able to voice out our issues on things that affect our country at large. There are simple things you and I can do to solve this burden of unemployment. Today with us is Rashida, a food and nutrition scientist who could not find a job in her profession. So she ended up starting something very simple to create her own employment, that is beadwork and art. So Rashida, how did you manage to start small and what really inspired you?
When I finished school, I was looking for a job as a nutritionist, but there were no jobs. So basically I had 10,000 in my pocket and I said, well, if I buy threads, and started with that. So that's how I started small. What inspired me is that I just left school and I had no money and my parents were not giving me any. So I needed to earn and I thought to myself, with 10,000, what can I do? Others wanted to knit, but I didn't know how. So I went and bought threads. I started with 3 pairs and came and asked my mom to teach me how to knit. Because I thought, well, these threads are made for tablecloths. Can't they be for earrings? And that's how I started out. Okay, I create designs first from buttons. And for buttons, it's just I love buttons so much. So I practically thought, why don't I make a necklace out of them? So I make necklaces out of buttons. And then I make necklaces out of threads that make tablecloths. And I make earrings like this kind, out of earrings. And then I sometimes combine chains with thread. And I also make chains with buttons. And just chains with beads. And my customers find them unique. I wear my jewelry all the time. So when I meet friends, they tell me, oh, can you make for me? I sell to friends. And then I supply to boutiques. I have one particular one around one day that I supply. So that's how I sell. And my mother's friends too give me orders. My brother's friends too give me orders. My friends' friends give me orders. It's like a continuous circle.
Through your ideas, have you solved your own unemployment problem? And have you managed to be able to create more jobs for other young people?
Yes. I've been able to earn from this business. I started with 10,000, then I made 50, then 100. And I also work with my mom, who I pay, by the way, so, who I pay for her labor. And I've also managed to teach other people. Last month I released 5, and then they also go and teach others. So it's like a whole chain. I teach them, they teach others, and I give them the basics from raw material. Then the first time they sell out, I show them how to, then I let them go, and they learn on their own. My greatest achievement is when I won my business plan. It was something organized by the African Youth Development Link. So we were supposed to display what we have done as young people, and I displayed this and everyone thought it was a unique idea. And I've also been able to teach other people to impact change, and that is an achievement to me if I can teach someone something and then they can earn. What I would like to tell young people out there is that the answer is us. We are the change we have been looking for. If you have an idea, everyone has an idea. Your business doesn't have to be unique. It can be something as simple as selling matchboxes. And there's no big capital. Every capital is capital, even if it's just 1,000. What I want to tell young people, they should stop expecting to be given and they start creating from anything. That's what I want them to know.
Thousands of new graduates compete for the few available jobs on the market every year. In order for us to put an end to the unemployment problem, we need to become job creators and not job seekers. 28-year-old Judith solicited 4 million shillings from her family in order to pursue her dream of venturing into the real estate business. Little did she know that 6 years down the road, this would propel her to great heights.
I made 70,000 bricks. But because I didn't have the capacity to start building, I sold these bricks to Jomai. All the money that I was given, I did not use it like the way other youth would be. Let me just buy a car, I need to bounce around, you know, I'm a youth. So I brought this money back, and that's helped me to start the foundation. I raised the foundation and other opportunities kept on coming. I went to London Business School where I made a presentation. Again, I was paid because they told every student to pay me 100 euros, each student. So when I came back with this money, I raised all the 9 buildings at the same time up to roofing level. I've managed to move from the 9 houses that I started from Kampala into now Amuria district. Now I've moved into warehouses because now I'm constructing warehouses to support the local farmers to bring in their products. This is going to be a warehouse. So it is going to be stocking the rice and then stocking peanuts and millets. As you see, even the other block, the other side, that is the office block, and it has so many offices in there. I'm going to have a marketeer, I'm going to have a salesperson, I'm going to have drivers, I'm going to have dryers, because, you know, as these foodstuffs come, they must first sort them, and also they must first dry them properly before they are stocked in the stores. So as a result of me starting up my businesses, I've employed other youth. And even here in Amuria, where we are right now, I employed the youth and the women, because there are so many who are just looking for only 2,000 shillings for buying soap and sugar and paraffin. So in Kampala as well, I've employed, even including engineers, and of course even here, I've employed so many.
What advice would you give to the youth out there that are waiting to be employed?
There's no government that we're going to have in Uganda here that will solve the problem of unemployment level to zero. It is not there. Whether they bring Museveni, they remove Museveni, they put Besigye, they bring Olaro Tunu, even if me, myself, Judith, if I became the president of this country, I will not solve the problem of unemployment to zero level. I just want to encourage my fellow youth to get started. They should just take that risk to start. Because there's a saying which goes that you start small, then you grow big. You can never dream to start big, then you come back down. It is very impossible. So you must create that is something to attract the bank. Like me now as I speak, I've never borrowed money from the bank. But I get calls. Can we top up for you and you finish your project quickly? Can we have a cup of tea? Because I took initial steps to start on my own. So what I always tell the youth, they must really start on their own. And they should learn from the people who have done it before.
You too can start your own small idea and grow it into a big business. You can become the job creator instead of being a job seeker. And this is the only way we shall solve the problem of unemployment in our community.
Be sure to tune in next time at the same station and let your voice be heard. If you have not signed up to become a U-reporter, it is easy as texting the word join to 8500, free of charge. Bye-bye.
Over 400,000 youth are released to the street every year to compete for the 90,000 jobs available.
This is what some of the youth,
Some U-reporters are asking if they can get jobs in U-report.
Uganda has one of the world's youngest population.
And this is the only way we're going to solve the job unemployment in our community. Not job unemployment.
You're speaking Greek.
Simply text the word join to the number 8500.